What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is unfortunately a Monday, but fortunately we're here to bring you a hopefully fantastic breakdown. If you've never been here before, you're in for a treat. We're going to go through everything. So we're going to look at all the pitching on the slate, and then we're going to look at the bats, how they do against the handedness of the pitcher, and we'll go through it all. If you find this video at all helpful, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because it means a lot to us. It helps us get into the YouTube algorithm. It helps us grow, which helps us make better content for you guys. Ways to support the channel: like the video, be a subscriber, leave a comment. Click on the ads is huge for us. I'm not going to lie, that is huge. You can also donate. We've had multiple donations. Our Cash App is down below, or if you have PayPal or something like that, hit us up. We can do that as well as Venmo. Or you can go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. You can go to FTA Plus tab right here, and you can sign up for a month pass, which includes MLB, MMA, NASCAR, NFL once it starts, and PGA, $24.99, and that includes sports betting. Or you can go ahead and you can try a yearly pass, normally $199, but if you have or you use the promo code NFLVIP, you're going to get $100 off right now while supplies last for a $99 yearly pass. We're probably going to add in NBA as well, just to bring you guys back to continue, probably bring NBA as well. So that being said, we have a lot going on. Anytime a video gets at least 50 likes, you leave a comment and you're a subscriber, you're thrown into our random YouTube comment picker anytime, and you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. Anytime a video gets at least 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month. Anytime a video gets 125 likes, you have a chance to win a free year. And anytime a video gets 150 likes, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass. Normally, it's anytime a video gets that many likes by the start of the main slate. And we killed it yesterday. We were at 119 likes at the 119 likes at the time of the main slate starting. So that's kind of what we're going to go with. But I don't remember if I mentioned that in the video or not. So that being said, you can win every single day. Obviously, if you win a lifetime pass, you can't really win it every single day. So we will give it to somebody else if you already have a lifetime pass, obviously. But we have a lot going on. Go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. A lot of people have been using us. Our Discord's down below. We have a Discord, but people aren't really talking in it. So I need to I wanted to get it set up and get going before NFL. So it is there. The link is down below. So let's see who won for yesterday's video, which saw a ton of traffic. We got it out. I couldn't do it till very early, and it still hit. So let's see who won for yesterday's video. The winner is John Montgomery. John Montgomery, congratulations. Like this, if you're here today, like this video, leave a comment that you saw it, and then you can get a hold of me one of two ways. Get a hold of me, our support email, dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp1@gmail.com. Or you can hit us up on Twitter/X @advisors_team, and we will get you set up. So again, congratulations, John. You can come back tomorrow, leave a comment, same thing. You have a chance to win yet again. So that being said, we have a total of 9 games on the slate. The main slate does not include this game because it is 25 minutes or 30 minutes earlier than normal, but we're still going to break it down. We're still going to look at it. So you got Framber Valdez, who's coming off, been pretty good lately, coming off his no-hitter and then a decent start his last time. Now he has a fantastically juicy matchup against Miami in Miami, which I really like. So looking at this, Valdez with against the just Marlins, only 40 plate appearances, not a ton. We got 40 plate appearances, 152 batting average, 22.5 K percentage. Then you have Braxton Garrett here, 18 plate appearances, 235. So if we dig into the numbers, let's take a look at both Houston and Miami against left-handed pitching. Now, this is everyone who has at least 60 plate appearances against left-handed pitching, which isn't always the same. There's obviously not a ton of lefties in the league, so that they're down a little bit. But you can see they still have them. Brian De La Cruz, I would use him. If you're not going with Framber Valdez, if you're playing, like on FanDuel, you can play the all-day slate. DraftKings really doesn't have anything like that. So they have the single games. But if you want to look at that, so we can kind of look. Let's take a look. We'll look at the single game. Give me a second. I'll pause it so you guys aren't having to sit through this. Okay, so it is here. You got Framber Valdez going up against Miami. Game logs, he did not do good. And this is what I was telling you. If you watched our this is hopefully what makes us a better DFS one-stop shop for you guys. We've been around since 2014, so we've been doing it for a very long time. I'm giving you the tools to become a better DFS player. If you believe that, hit that like button, because I honestly, that's what I'm trying to do. If you do need a little bit more help, we do have optimal lineups, we do have cheat sheets, we have all of that at FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, FTA+. But I said he was coming off a perfect game. I wasn't going to pay $12,000 for him because he had kind of some stinkers after that. Then what did he do? Went up against Baltimore, which is a really good hitting team. Went 7 innings, but gave up 6 earned runs, only 3 Ks, had 3.8 fantasy points at $12,000. So we used it there. I did not use Framber at all. And he came through for us by sucking, because we did stack Baltimore, because I said people, the casual people, the random people, they're going to be on Framber because they're chasing that perfect game, or the no-hitter, and we were against it. We were against the grain, and we came through. But now he does have a good matchup. Again, though, it's a single game. He's 18,600. It's going to be very hard to build around him with something like that. And then you got Braxton Garrett here. He's, 4.08 ERA, 6-3 record. Game logs, he's been okay, but his price, again, it's going to be high. It's not going to work. Home games, he is worse at home. I'm probably stacking Houston. So then we look at the splits here. Diaz, if Diaz is in there, love him. Kyle Tucker against the lefties, I mean, all these green, it's going to be there. It's all coming together there. Jordan, a lefty-on-lefty matchup, he's got some good numbers here, batting 308 there. I mean, you see a ton of green here. Garrett Cooper's no longer on the team. Luis Arraez is on base all the time. Jorge Soler. Is Soler hurt? Why do I feel like Soler is hurt? I could be crazy. No, he's not hurt. Oh, it's because I've been watching the Yankees and Marlins, and I hadn't seen him in the game, but he's just out. So he'll be in here. Soler is a good option. Bregman's, not so much. I wouldn't pay up for him. Jose Abreu's on the IL. Jake Myers is an interesting option too. So if I'm taking this game, I'm probably taking the bats. If you're playing the solo game, honestly, I think you could build around bats and not have to have any of the pitching. But if you want to throw pitching, I'd rather probably take Valdez over Braxton Garrett. Then that brings us to the main slate. Now, this page doesn't have a ton of the pitchers up, but we do on DraftKings. So we'll go with that. If there are any changes that aren't listed on the site and they are changed from what's there, we will discuss that. That'll be part of the cheat sheet and stuff like that. Also forgot to mention, anyone who sticks around towards the end of the video, we're going to, so we do simulations. We do 10,000 total simulations. Each slate brings in ballpark factors, weather, historical matchups, BVP, stuff like that. Recent game logs and stuff like that. It is all tied into simulations. We do 10,000 simulations about an hour before the slate locks when it's a main slate. So it's a night slate, so it'll be later on during the day. But during this video, we've already simulated 2,000 times, and we'll spit out the top 10 pitchers and bats that it likes so far. It will change moving forward, so you have to go to check out the website. But yesterday it had Giloff as, I believe, top 5 bats, and I think he had 2 home runs or more on Sunday. So it's spitting out some really good plays. It helps us with our DFS. It helps us with our sports betting as well. So the first game here is the Pirates at the Mets. 2 teams that are really bad overall this season. Looking at this, I kind of wanted to see who it's got for Pittsburgh. Quinn Priester, his last game was on the 9th, so it should be his turn in the rotation. Whether or not they skip it, I don't know. I don't think they will. Obviously, coming off a bad game against Atlanta because it's Atlanta. Coming off a bad game against Milwaukee because they've been pretty good at home as well. This one's kind of up in the air there. On the road, he is better, But again, he's got an 8.75 ERA, so he's not the best. He's only been starting a little bit, so we can see it there. Does give up more earned runs at home, but this is just one where I don't think I want anything to do with Quinn Priester here. And then we've got Carrasco. Honestly, game log-wise, he had a good game against the Cubs. Splits, he's faced Pittsburgh one time this year. Only went 4.2 innings in that game. 2 earned runs, only 1 strikeout. 3.86 ERA. So honestly, this could be, to be fair, this could actually be a more of a bats over taking pitching in this one. So we're going to look at both the Pirates and the Mets bats against right-handed pitching and see how they done. We'll go with that. So let's go with New York Mets, Pittsburgh Pirates. And this is on the website too. This is free on the website. You can go check it out, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Hover over the MLB tab. Obviously, I know it's 2023 and people love mobile and all of that, but the charts that we have on the site with all of the stats, these don't really fit in mobile. So it's best viewed on a computer or a tablet. Just if you have a tablet, it's probably better than a phone. But they're just, especially our matchup tool coming up for NFL, not going to be easy to read it. There's so much information on there. And I've done a video on that, and I'll actually link that video. I did it about a month ago or so. It needs updated. But I will link that at the end so you can kind of see what to maybe expect for the NFL. So if you're excited for the NFL just like we are, buckle up because we are very excited for it. Normally this NFL tool is behind FTA Plus. But if there's enough views and likes on the videos with it, I'll keep it up. As long as we continuously get about 100 likes on the weekly video that I put up with the matchup tool, we will keep it free. So it is normally an FTA Plus stat, but the way you guys have been killing it with YouTube views and interaction and building our channel just over the last 4 months has been absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot thank you guys enough. This is a way I want to give back, other than spending an hour plus usually going through all of these stats, which you can find on the web online, but we've compiled it into one area to hopefully make you a better DFS player. So that being said, probably going to avoid, and this is another thing, we usually we do go over everything, and I've had people be like, oh, you said this person. Yeah, it happens. I said Jameson Taillon as a tournament option on Sunday because Toronto strikes out a ton against righties, and Taillon's been okay this year as a tournament option. Again, when you're playing tournaments, you got to be contrarian a little bit. Did he get lit up? Yeah, he got lit up. So that does happen. We are wrong. That is the difference between me and, like, I'm not going to say the big name competitors, but the people that have more than just one person, aka myself, working on it. They have the resources. I tell it how it is. Hopefully you guys have seen that before, and if you're new, you'll figure that out. So if you aren't going with pitchers, the bats in this one, Connor Joe's actually been pretty good for us lately this year, so I'd look at him. Tommy Pham's no longer on the team. Lindor I would look at. Marte's obviously hurt. Alvarez has some green numbers we could look at. Sawinski's okay. 211 batting average, not the best. Santana, no longer there. Pete Alonso, a thing in the paper, like it's 1955 when we're reading the paper, a thing that I saw was the Mets were actually shopping Pete Alonso, which crazy. But I would use him. He's been on fire for us when we've used him. Kutch has a 390 OBP against righties. I would look at Ke'Bryan Hayes. I would look at Brian Reynolds. Canna's gone. Beatty's on the AAA. McNeil maybe, and Brandon Nimmo. Those would be the bats that I'd use. Probably avoiding both of these pitchers would be using those bats there. So we move on to the next game. The Yankees at the Braves. I think, now, this is me being a Yankees fan, I think they're absolutely going to get their stuff shoved in, for lack of a better term. The Braves are the best team in baseball right now. I will be very surprised if the Yankees get one win out of here. But we'll see. We'll see the matchups and stuff. Clarke Schmidt's actually been a viable real-life pitcher. Hasn't really, other than the White Sox game where he went 5.1 innings, 7 Ks, really hasn't translated to fantasy relevancy overall. I had a good game against Colorado, had a good game against Baltimore, Seattle. It's been very peppered whether or not he's going to have a good game or not. Now he's going into Atlanta. It's going to be hot and humid, and the ball can fly out of there, and both of these teams can hit when they're hitting. But Atlanta's the best team in baseball. We know that. Splits-wise, Clarke Schmidt on the road, worse on the road at 4.56 ERA. I just don't trust him enough against Atlanta. And then we got to see who Atlanta is going to be pitching. Does it not say at all? Yeah, as of now, we don't. Oh, no, Max Fried. So he pitched last Wednesday. Should be his turn in the rotation. In that game, didn't do too well, again, and that was against Pittsburgh. 4 innings, 4 earned runs. So you see he had a 3-month break in between pitching. He's gone 6 innings once against the Cubs and then 4 innings against the Pirates. So probably can't trust him enough, especially at 9,400. If he's not going to go, I can't trust him. I'm not saying I'd use Clarke Schmidt. I'm saying I'd probably look at pitching here. So let's take a look. And Atlanta bats, I'm pretty sure every single one of them is a fantastic option against righties. So yeah, I mean, probably not d'Arnaud, but Rosario, Sean Murphy, Matt Olson, Acuna, Albies, Harris, Ozuna. I mean, everyone here but Travis d'Arnaud, I would have exposure to. That's what I would be looking at. So yeah, every single Braves batter is in play for me every single game pretty much. Then we can take a look at the Yankees bats against lefties. In normal seasons when they're really good, they're smashing lefties. Gleyber Torres has got some good numbers there. IKF has been on fire. Rizzo and LeMahieu are both hurt. I would look at Volpe. He had a good game he had a home run on Sunday. Stanton, if he's in the outfield. Actually, Stanton's been pretty good a little bit lately. I would use Stanton. Obviously, Judge is there. Now, the reason Stanton and Judge aren't there are because they haven't seen at least 60 plate appearances against lefties. But depending on the lineup that comes out of there, the Yankees are not lefty heavy. They're righty heavy. So you could be looking at Harrison Bader. I think this game, as long as the weather holds up, I think this game could be a high-scoring affair. I really, really do. It looks like, as of now, the weather should hold up. But again, by the time you watch this video, there is a weather tab on our cheat sheet. We also have optimal lineups over there as well. I would be looking at those. I would be trying to check out if it affects anything. Whether or not we've got wind blowing out, blowing in. We'll have all that information. But yeah, I think this game could be a high-scoring game. Kind of wait for the Vegas numbers to come out. Wouldn't be surprised if we see 10-plus runs in this. Now, whether or not that's both teams, whether or not that's just Atlanta themselves, that's a different story. But I'm probably not using either pitchers. I'm probably stacking both teams. But yeah, we'll kind of have to wait for what batters. But if I'm taking the Yankees, Judge, Stanton, Harrison Bader, IKF, Volpe, Gleyber. Those would probably be the bats that I would look at. And again, it just really depends on what lineup comes out. And then no matter what lineup comes out for the Braves, roll with the Braves. Roll with the Braves. I'm not going to say they're going to win 21-3 like they did against the Mets, but I'm not saying they're not also going to do that. Next game, we got the Athletics at the Cardinals. You got J.P. Sears versus Miles Mikolas. So we come down here. They're basically right around the same. J.P. Sears against the St. Louis Cardinals. He hasn't had a couple of stinkers in a row. He has. And then he had 19.7 stinker. Pretty good right here. For his price at $6,000, right around there. Now he's $7,400. Don't know why his price went up after he just gave up 4 earned runs and 4 innings against Texas, but they're pricing him like he's playing the Cardinals, which that's who he's playing. Splits-wise, he's never faced the Cardinals before. Neither pitcher has faced this team. He's on the road. He is actually better on the road. Depending, honestly, I think Sears could be a sneakier GPP option that people might not be on. Because the Cardinals, they should be able to match lefties all the time with Arenado, Goldie, Dylan Carlson's now on the IL. Edman is there, Lars Nootbaar. They should be able to. They just haven't. They're playing really bad baseball this year. It's just an oddity to see the Cardinals this bad. So J.P. Sears, I'm okay with as tournaments. Miles Mikolas, I'm okay with as tournaments as well because he's facing the Oakland Athletics. Coming off a really good game against Tampa Bay, which he should have lost. 7 innings pitched. Well, he did lose. He should have given up more earned runs than this. But 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 5K, 17 fantasy points. Then he had 21.6 there. He's only gone up 1,000. Splits-wise, again, he's never faced Oakland. They're a very bad team. Looking at this, he is worse at home. I would take both of these pitchers for tournaments, but that's probably it for me. But if you want to look at bats, we can take a look at the Cardinals' bats against lefties. Edman, 277. Like I said, he's got good numbers there. Nolan Gorman, if he's on there, he's got more green and yellow than orange and red. Dylan Carlson's hurt. Goldie, I would take a look at Goldie. Newt Barr, maybe tournaments only. Brendan Donovan, I believe, is hurt as well. DeYoung is gone. Wilson Contreras against the lefty, I would take. Nolan Arenado, I would take as well. So then if we can look. Don't really feel confident taking Oakland most of the time. Let's see about righties. Yeah, you look how much red and orange there is compared to green and yellow. The ones that maybe I would take would be Seth Brown, Ruiz, tournament only because he gets stolen bases. That's pretty much it. But yeah, this batting average as combined is an average of 218. Not ideal. Average OBP is 303, so it's okay. Average slugging 366, so very low. I probably wouldn't stack Oakland for sure. I'd rather take Mikolas. I think I trust Mikolas in cash, and I would trust Sears in tournaments more so than the other way around. Then you got the Angels at the Rangers. You got Patrick Sandoval versus to be announced. Sandoval's right here, and then has Texas. It's supposedly going to be Scherzer. So Scherzer coming off a couple of good games now. Obviously a good game against Oakland, now against the Angels. Hasn't faced them this year before. He is pitching quote-unquote at home where his ERA is better. But this would be his second home start as a Ranger. Whether or not those numbers are going to be a little bit skewed because it's, in theory, technically could feel like a visiting ballpark because he's only pitched there one time as a home team. I'd still look at Scherzer. 11,000. He has a great matchup against the Angels, though. And then on the flip side of that, if you're looking at Sandoval against Texas, again, it's going to be really hard to want to feel confident taking a pitcher against this Texas team, no matter who it is. 4.02 ERA for Sandoval. Coming off a good game against San Francisco, not a good game against the Braves, pretty good game against, an okay game against Detroit. New York, 29.5. I mean, a really good game there. He's 7,200. Hasn't faced Texas this year. Has faced 53 plate appearances of Texas bats, 106 average. So we look at this. He's on the road. He has a better ERA on the road. 48 hits allowed, 22 earned runs, 3 home runs, 47 Ks. Could you throw Sandoval in? I think if you threw Sandoval in a tournament here, his ownership is probably less than 5%. And if he has good games, if he somehow corrals the Texas Rangers down to a really good game, you could get exposure elsewhere, and I think you'd be on top of the field. Do I trust him in cash? No. I would take 100% would be Scherzer in cash and would be Sandoval in tournaments. Contrarian tournaments, I'll say. So let's take a look at the Texas bats against left-handed pitching. And I don't think we really need to go over it. Corey Seager's a beast against lefties, which is kind of crazy to think about, but we'll look at this. There's a lot of green and yellow here more than orange and red, and that is because this is a really good team. I think they already have 70 wins. They're really good this year. Grossman against the lefty, I like him. Liked him better than a righty. He hits better against lefties. Simeon is great. Jung is hurt. Duran, a lot of green out of him. Jonah Heim is hurt. Corey Seager's absolutely mashing. He's got 343 batting average against lefties. Nate Lowe is a lefty on lefty. I would still take him. Adolis Garcia is another one I would take. But if you're not going with that, if you're for some reason going with Sandoval, that's fine. But let's take a look at the Angels bats against Scherzer and the righties. So batters that have had success against righties, obviously Ohtani's at the top. Trout is hurt. Taylor Ward almost died on the field. Gio's out for the year. You got Brandon Drury. He would be an option I'd look at. Hunter Renfroe, maybe a little bit. Mickey Moniak has a lot of green there. That's pretty much it. I don't like a ton of Angels bats. I'd rather have Scherzer here. So I'd rather take Scherzer against the Angels and Texas bats. That's what I would do in this game. Then the next game is the Mariners at the Royals. You got to be announced versus Brady Singer, 22 plate appearances, 143. Again, normally we absolutely love taking a pitcher against Kansas City in Kansas City because it is a pitcher's park. So let's take a look to see if it's got anything in here. So it's looking like Evan Hancock is going to, or Emerson Hancock is going to make his second start of his career. Had a really good, decent outing against San Diego. Got called up. 4,000 salary, still 4,000. Went 5 innings there, 3 strikeouts, 1 earned run against San Diego, which is a good team. It's going to be his first road game. This is a pitcher's park. Emerson Hancock at 4,000 is going to open up so many doors for you. I would definitely look at him. I would look at Hancock as the #1 value play of the day in pitching because he gets this matchup, a juicy matchup against San Francisco. And by San Francisco, I mean Kansas City, obviously. So then we take a look. Emerson Hancock, is he righty or lefty? They're both righties. So, and then on the flip side, Singer, I don't know what to do with him. Game log-wise, he's been pretty decent lately. Seattle's been bad. Honestly, I think I kind of like Singer here. 7,900 out of him. Hasn't faced Seattle this year. Home games, he's better at home. The Mariners have been a bad offensive team for a while now, since the All-Star break pretty much. They had the All-Star game and that was it. But we can look at it. Kansas City bats and Seattle bats against righties. If we're looking at Seattle bats, none really like stick out. Like ones that I'm like, oh yeah, we really got to get him in there. Cal Raleigh maybe a little bit. JP Crawford's on the IL now. Out of nowhere, really. Julio, J-Rod I would look at. But honestly, I don't like the bats in this game. I think I'm looking at pitching. I think Hancock's going to be your very cheap option at 4,000. And then Singer could be a cash or tournament option, depending on what you look at. But I'm not looking at the bats here. I would look at both of these pitchers, and I think you could be pretty confident with that. I think Hancock at 4,000 is probably my top value pitcher on the slate. Could he get lit up? He absolutely could get lit up. But at 4,000, you can afford that if you can find the correct bats to get around him. And at 4,000, you can pair him up with pretty much anyone. So if you look at this, like you could put Hancock at 4,000, and then you could go with Scherzer, and that's 15,000 right there. So you've already used you've just used 15,000. Or you could pay down and go Glasnow, which I do love me some Glasnow, at 10,800. And then let's say you do Brady Singer. You've used 19,000 right there. So that's a lot. So you can go crazy. You could go Glasnow and you could go Hancock. I actually think I like this one. That's 14,800. I feel confident with that. So those might be my pitchers that I go with. But I'm not using the bats in this one. Arizona Diamondbacks at the Colorado Rockies is the next game. You've got Chris Flexen for Colorado, and who is Arizona pitching? It should be Merrill Kelly. He is day-to-day. He's day-to-day because he got taken out Wednesday with a leg cramp. As long as he, eats his bananas or, drinks his pickle juice, he should be in this start. The problem is it's in Colorado. I don't like that. He's faced Colorado once this year, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 21.3. If we look at his game logs, Colorado, he was in Colorado, and that's where he's at. Probably avoiding this. Probably looking at, probably avoiding both of these. I would just look at the bats. Again, we're going to have to kind of wait to see what bats we like. I'm probably going to avoid looking at the pitching here. And none of the bats really jump out to me right now. They're going to be priced up because it's in Colorado. So I'm going to leave this one off for now. Check FantasyTeamAdvisors.com to look for the bats later on during the day with the cheat sheet, with the top bats, with the projections. Those will all be in the website. Orioles at the Padres is the next game. You got Grayson Rodriguez going for the Orioles and Yu Darvish for the Padres. This one is, I don't know if I'm going to pay up $8,700 for Darvish because Baltimore's really good. We know what Baltimore does. We know they're really good. Darvish at home, 4.06 ERA. So he's still kind of up there. He's still getting hit. So that's what I would kind of look at. I'm probably going to go away from Darvish. And then Grayson Rodriguez has been up and down. Going up against San Diego, obviously hasn't faced them before. He's pitching on the road. He's a little bit better on the road, but he still has a high ERA. Game logs, he's been okay. 4 strikeouts, 6.46. That's kind of what you're looking at. I might throw Grayson Rodriguez in tournaments, but he's not getting enough pitching that we could look at. So if we look at the splits here, we look at both Baltimore and San Diego. Juan Soto is really good against righties. I would look at Tatis. I would look at Rushman. I'm probably looking at the bats here. So everyone. O'Hearn, Mountcastle, Henderson. I would look at these. I would probably avoid Matt Carpenter. I would look at Rushman, Machado. I would avoid Urias. I would look at Mullins, Kim, Cronenworth, Bogarts, and Austin Hayes is what I would look at in this game, probably avoiding the pitching. And then the final game on the slate, the Rays at the Giants, Tyler Glasnow versus to be announced. Glasnow, I'm taking him. He's my favorite pitcher on the slate. He was scratched his last start. That is the only thing to monitor, but I would definitely look at Glasnow. He's my number one. This is why he's the picture of the video and the article for today. Bats-wise, I'm not looking at the Giants' bats. Tampa Bay's been up and down. Looking at San Francisco, maybe Sean Manaea, we don't know. He's coming out of the bullpen, so this could be a bullpen game. So let's take a look at Tampa Bay bats against lefties, see who has had success. I'm not looking at Giants bats. Paredes I would look at. Yandy Diaz I would look at. Harold Ramirez I would look at. I would look at Wander Franco, but he's got some not so good allegations going up against him, so he might be out. He was out Sunday. This is something to monitor. Could be suspended. I'm not going to put it on the channel here, but if you guys want to Google it, not looking good. But again, it's an allegation. He has a lot of money. Could be fake. Don't know. Not going to put any thought into it. So just you could look at that. You could look at Randy Arozarena as well. Manny Margot, Yandy Diaz is what I'd look at. So a Tampa Bay stack isn't against it. If it is Sean Manaea, I do like them against lefties. And there you have it. There's the breakdown of all of the pitchers and the bats on here and the splits. Now we're going to real quickly go over the top 10 pitchers and hitters on this slate with our 2,000 simulations. Again, by the end of the day, it will be 10,000. It will be on the website. So here we go. We've got Yordan Alvarez, Josh Bell, Kyle Tucker, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Arenado, Jesus Sanchez, Luis Ariz, Paul Goldschmidt, Jeremy Pena, Alec Burleson, and Lars Nootbaar. It also has Wilson Contreras right down below. It has 6 St. Louis bats so far against Sears. So that could be a sneaky option with 6 St. Louis bats there. It's really liking St. Louis as of now. Again, it could change by the end of the day, so that is why you come back to the website and check it out to see what's updated. Then we've got pitchers here. Oops, sorry about that. So far, it likes Miles Mikolas, Framber Valdez, Tyler Glasnow, Max Scherzer. It actually likes Brady Singer. It likes Patrick Sandoval as a tournament option. And Emerson Hancock as well. Now, these will change throughout the day, so that is something to monitor. Those will be updated and go through there. We also have ballpark factors. We have our projections. These are the 10,000 simulations. These are the batter splits. If you are into BVP, we've got the BVP numbers here. Some people like BVP, some people don't. I think for BVP, if you're breaking it down, you kind of got to have, most likely, you want at least 50 plate appearances to consider what a BVP to look good. That being said, that's what I would look at. About 50 plate appearances to make it feel good. Stolen base targets, this is good for DFS. It shows matchups. It shows the pitcher. It shows the batter, how many stolen bases they've had over X amount of years. It's really good for sports betting as well. We got contrarian stacks. These are the top stacks that are contrarian on the day. So like a number 1 stack would be the Braves most likely. The contrarian might be San Francisco, for instance, against Glasnow or something like that. Do they always work out? No. That's why they're contrarian. But we have those on the website. We have our cheat sheet. Our cheat sheet includes cash and tournament pitchers that we like. It includes the weather tab. It includes FanDuel and DraftKings optimal lineups, which I say don't just copy and paste, but they are a fantastic starting point for you if you're trying to build DFS lineups and trying to be a better DFS player. We got prop bets, Vegas odds, we've got ballpark ratings, umpire factors as well. So we've got it all. Go check it out. Thank you so much for checking this video out. Good luck to everyone on this slate. And as always, guys, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!